Hey everyone, it's Mr. Greenwood again with another tutorial video. Today's tutorial is about slope, and we talked about this in class just a little bit today to kind of give you some background. We talked about graphing some points, and then we talked about slope. So slope, what is it? It's the steepness of a line, okay? And so you need to think about that being how steep a line is. If it's positive, we're going uphill. So it's positive, we're going uphill or increasing. If it's negative, negative means you're going downhill or it's decreasing. So getting bigger or getting smaller. Okay. And so another way you can we can draw a picture of that is to say, here is a line that's got very steep increasing slope. And here's a line that has steep decreasing slope. Okay. Steep increasing is over here. And this example over here is steep and decreasing. And if we want to look at some more examples of slope that are not so steep, so there's a not very steep. Let's try that, make sure it's straight here. So there's a line that is not very steep and increasing. And here's a line that's not very steep, except for that last little bit, and decreasing. Okay, so there's kind of that difference of those things. So this is not steep, more gradual, and increasing. I'll move my face out of the way here. And this one is not steep, more gradual, and decreasing. So think about decreasing as going down and increasing as going up. So there's kind of the four different types of slope you can see on graphs or on pictures. So once we have kind of a background here, let's get to the algebra piece of this. So the formula for slope, and they use an M for slope, so M always represents slope. And so I'm going to use some color. So y sub 2 minus y sub 1. And it's important to note this is always a subtract between these 2 points, regardless of if the points have, I wrote the wrong thing, there should be an x, regardless of whether the points have negative signs on them or not. So x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So there's your slope formula, and that should look familiar from Algebra 1. Probably maybe saw it in 8th grade as well. So there's that slope formula for you. Okay, so that's an idea of what is slope and what the formula is. And so let's talk about doing an example problem, and we'll give you a problem here. So let's do point P is at 2, -5, and point Q is at 4, let's go with 1. Okay, so there's the example problem. So to calculate the slope, we're going to plug those things or substitute them into our slope formula. So I'm going to label my x's and my y's. I'm using blue for my x's. So there's an x, there's an x, there's a y, there's a y. And so I'm going to assign this point on top to be x1 and y1. And the point on the bottom I'll assign to be x sub 2 and y sub 2. That would be the best 2 I've ever drawn with my mouse. Maybe that one too. Okay, so once we've labeled our points, that'll be step 1. Step 2 is that we are going to substitute them into our formula. Okay, so I know my formula, I know is m equals. All right, draw my fraction bar. So from my problem, I know my formula says y2 minus y1. So my y sub 2 is this 1 from point Q, always minus. My y sub 1 in this case is a -5. My x values, I have x sub 2, which is a 4. So notice x sub 2 for my formula, minus x sub 1. So minus x sub 1 is a 2. Just ignore that extra blue mark. It accidentally marked there. It has no bearing on the problem. Okay, so now we have 1 minus -5. So subtracting a negative, 1 minus negative 5 will act like 1 plus 5. Okay, so remembering that, that's important. So that means this is going to act like 1 plus 5, which we know 1 plus 5 is positive 6. And we know that 4 minus 2 is positive 2. And so my slope is 6 over 2. And so in this case, since they both have a common factor of 2, I can cancel 2 from the bottom to make it 1. And I can cancel a 2 from the 6 to make it 3, because 6 divided by 3 is 2. Which leads me to my final solution of 3 over 1. So let's see, we're orange on top. So equals 3 over 1. So that's my final slope, a rise of 3 and a run of 1. So I could write that just as 3 as a whole number, or as 3 over 1 as a fraction. All right, that's all we got for this time. I hope you made some sense of that, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.